Live from the KOIN Center in downtown Portland, this is KOIN 6 News. Watching out for you.
Multiple injured on scene, and we're sending multiple ambulances.
Tonight, our breaking news coverage continues from Roseburg, a campus and community in shock.
The look on her face was horrifying, and that's when I knew something was wrong.
A gunman opens fire inside a classroom at Umpqua Community College, killing 9 people, leaving 7 others wounded.
Our thoughts and prayers are not enough. It's not enough.
Hundreds of students gather tonight to light candles in honor of those killed and to begin the healing process. And this is a day we will never forget in Oregon. At 11 o'clock, I'm Jeff Gianola.
And I'm Jennifer Hoff. And flags all around the state, like the one even you see behind us, are at half-mast in memory of the students that were killed today.
And we have complete coverage tonight. We're going to start with Cole Miller. Why and who is this shooter? Cole has more information on that. Cole?
Well, Jeff, Jennifer, good evening. We are live here tonight at the Saddle Butte Apartments in Winchester. That's just about a mile south of Umpqua Community College, and it is believed that the suspected shooter, 26-year-old Chris Harper Mercer, lives here in the building behind us. And all day, there has been a heavy police presence here. We've seen local law enforcement working alongside federal agencies, including the ATF and FBI. And earlier today, we did see officers combing through an apartment here. All of this as neighbors looked on.
It's just like you never would expect it in a million years. Like nobody would. Like, you know, I mean, it's insane.
And as soon as we learned of the shooter's name, we came down this way, and soon law enforcement started pouring in. Now, we did run into a couple living in that taped-off building, and when we showed them a picture we believed to be that of Chris Harper Mercer, the looks on their faces was that of pure shock. They told us that he's mostly quiet, kept to himself, and was usually up and moving around early in the day. Take a listen now to some of what they have to say.
He lived above us. My daughter has personally heard confrontations going on, which worried her enough to want to go upstairs and ask what was going on.
Now, that man who you just heard from there, he also believes the suspected shooter's mother lives here in this apartment complex. Now, that's something we're still working to confirm. Now, as for the officers on the scene here, they have been staying tight-lipped for much of the night. And back out here live tonight, we've seen those local and federal agencies coming and going throughout the night. It's unclear if they've taken anything evidence-wise out of any of the apartments here. And we're going to be down here and keeping a close eye on this whole thing, and we'll keep you updated as we learn more. Live tonight in Winchester, Cole Miller, KOIN 6 News.
Cole, thank you for that. And he'll, of course, be staying on scene, gathering any new information for us. Meanwhile, tonight, we are learning more about Harper Mercer, the shooter, from his family. Harper Mercer's father lives in California, and our media partners talked with Harper Mercer's father and his stepsister. She says the family is stunned now. His stepmother was in tears.
All he ever did was put everyone before himself. He wanted everyone to be happy, and no matter if he was sad or mad, he would always try to cheer up everybody.
I am just as shocked as everybody at what happened today. I've just been talking to the police and the FBI. Obviously, it's been a devastating day. Devastating for me and my family.
That there was Harper Mercer's father. The stepsister said she found out about what happened from him. And the stepsister knew that the suspected gunman was in Oregon, but not much more than that.
Well, throughout the day, we've been bringing you accounts of the shooting from students who were there. One was in the classroom right next door. She says they heard shuffling and really knew something was wrong when their teacher came in and checked on the commotion.
Still didn't know really what was going on, but I knew the look and the fear on my teacher's face that it was serious. So, yeah, it was just chaotic.
Students were then evacuated to the Douglas County Fairgrounds to be reunited with their parents. Hannah found her mother shortly after we talked with her live on the air.
This will no doubt be a lengthy investigation, and that continues on campus tonight.
Our Chris Woodard has been checking in with the sheriff's office throughout the evening. And Chris, you have an update for us. What's the latest?
Yeah, active investigations tonight, not only here at the suspected home of the shooter, but also at the community college campus, which is just down the road. That area completely cordoned off tonight. We are told that there are evidence teams there right now from the FBI and state police beginning to process that scene, as well as bomb teams and tactical units also still on scene there, working to clear the hundreds of vehicles that were left parked on campus to make sure there is nothing dangerous that was either left or planted on any of those vehicles. Here's the latest we know from the sheriff this evening about exactly how things unfolded on that college campus here today. Shortly after 10:30 this morning, officers swarmed the school, went into a campus building to confront the gunman and exchange fire with him. That gunman, one of the 10 dead tonight. Now, all day we've been hearing stories of the fear and confusion of the students on campus at the time, many of them hiding in classrooms or on the floor, not knowing exactly what was happening. Some waited as long as an hour before tactical teams got them off of the campus. Tonight, both the sheriff and college president shared some thoughts with us about the response, both of law enforcement and the rest of this community.
We do know that we have at least 2 heroic officers who responded into the building within minutes and exchanged gunfire with the suspect.
This has been a long, sad, tragic day at UCC, and the thing that we should take away from it is the power that love can bring to this community. We saw people rush to our help, rush to assist us, rush to comfort us. People all over the community came in. I think that's one of the blessings of a small town.
Tonight, there's a lot of speculation on motive of the shooter or what may have led to this, but the sheriff will not share or confirm any of those details about what they know at this point. And he tells us victims will not be identified for 24 to 48 hours. But he says deputies and detectives are paired up with families of each of those victims tonight to try to help them through the situation and to answer any questions they may have. That campus will be closed throughout the weekend. Again, active investigations going on there tonight, as well as right here at the home of the suspected shooter. Live near Roseburg, Chris Woodard, KOIN 6 News.
Active investigations and no doubt, again, a long investigation. Thanks for the update, Chris.
It was a moving scene tonight. Students and people from throughout the community of Roseburg gathered at Stewart Park tonight for a candlelight vigil.
It, of course, was very emotional for a lot of people. Our Amy Frazier has been talking with a lot of the folks who showed up there. Amy.
Hundreds of people filled this park today to grieve and also to support each other. Families stood with their arms around each other. Others held up candles as they listened to songs like Amazing Grace. At times, there were prayers. At other times, there was silence. Over and over, people told me they're still in shock that this has happened.
Just the silence and seeing all the candles, it kind of brought tears in my eyes because I know some of the people that were hurt or injured, and it's crazy to think that that it hit so close to home to us, with it being such a small town. It's been a long day, and it kind of just hit home, knowing that people were dead and that when we go back, that it's not going to be the same at UCC.
Oregon Governor Kate Brown was here tonight. She offered her condolences to the families of the victims. It has certainly been a very difficult night, a very difficult day here in Roseburg, but certainly the community vowing to stand together. Back to you.
Okay, Amy Frazier at that candlelight vigil tonight. And earlier in the day, Amy was talking to some of those students who were evacuated at the fairgrounds. Amy, thank you.
Yeah, and of course the people at the vigils are there remembering the folks who died. 10 people have died, 7 were hurt, and some of those who are hurt are at the hospital fighting for their lives tonight.
They're actually at 2 different hospitals, and our complete coverage continues now with our reporter, Tim Becker.
As you have heard by now, there are 7 surviving victims from the shooting at Umpqua Community College. 4 of them are here tonight at Mercy Medical Center in Roseburg. The other 3 sent to a hospital in Springfield. Of the 4 victims here tonight, we're told 3 are in stable condition, the 4th in critical condition. We're going to get another update early tomorrow morning. The other 3 victims that were airlifted, well, that was about 70 miles north to Peace Health Sacred Heart Hospital in Springfield. 2 of them went there via life flight. Another was flown in with a fixed-wing aircraft.
in Roseburg, they were, it was like a war zone, and we needed to be able to step up and take additional patients here, and we were prepared to do even more than we received.
Sacred Heart's Jim Godbold tells me 2 of the 3 victims sent to Springfield arrived in serious condition, the 3rd one in critical condition. Well, I've learned tonight that has changed. 2 of them are now in critical condition and just 1 is in serious. All 3 having gone through surgery there, where some of the medical staff went through the same thing 17 years ago.
We had a school shooting here in 1998 at Thurston High School, and so we actually have staff members in our emergency department who cared for students who were shot there. So we've had the experience of doing this before, unfortunately, and while that gives us a level of expertise, it's a kind of expertise you don't relish having, and it's an experience that you never want to go through again.
Social media tonight flooded with references about who those victims might be, but people here at the hospitals and again the sheriff's office, none of them are confirming those identities. That press conference tomorrow to update their conditions set for 6 a.m. right here in Roseburg. We're going to be here to follow up and let you know if anything has changed. Back to you.
Okay, Tim letting us know that 2 of the victims in critical conditions tonight, so let's keep the thoughts and prayers going for those folks. President Obama addressed the nation following this Oregon shooting.
The president started this speech first by extending his condolences to the victims and their friends and families. Then he went on and he sounded a bit frustrated, a bit angry during his address, even sighing as he pointed out that he has been talking about stricter measures on gun control now for years.
And America will wrap everyone who's grieving with our prayers and our love. But as I said just a few months ago, and I said a few months before that, and I said each time we see one of these mass shootings, our thoughts and prayers are not enough. It's not enough. It does not capture the heartache and grief and anger that we should feel. And it does nothing to prevent this carnage from being inflicted someplace else in America. Next week, or a couple of months from now.
Obama last spoke out about a mass shooting over the summer when 9 people were killed at a historic black church in Charleston. And today he called for laws to help eliminate these mass shootings, but said his critics will likely lash out at this call for stricter gun control.
Well, digging deeper tonight, the Douglas County Sheriff who's handling the investigation in Roseburg is a vocal opponent of gun control legislation. Sheriff John Hanlon told the state legislative committee earlier this year that requiring background checks on private gun sales would not prevent criminals from getting guns. He also sent a letter to the vice president after the Newtown shooting in Connecticut saying he and his deputies would refuse to enforce new gun control restrictions.
When we come back, our special coverage of the UCC shooting continues.
And we're also going to give you a look at how people in the Portland area tonight came together to honor the victims. We'll be right back.
Today's deadly shooting at Umpqua Community College may have happened almost 200 miles away, about a 3-hour drive. It's still affecting people here right in Portland.
Our Jennifer Dowling live at Portland City Hall tonight, where a vigil took place a short time ago. Jennifer?
Good evening. There were candles, tears, and hugs here at Portland's City Hall as folks gathered to stand in solidarity. Also, the Oregon Symphony had members here that were playing comfort music, and folks held hands, and sang Amazing Grace. At least 100 gathered to stand here with those holding a vigil in Stewart Park in Roseburg. The mayor spoke first, saying, "We retain our capacity with friends and neighbors to be shocked and outraged. Roseburg and the City of Roses are one community." The public was also invited to share their thoughts on the mic. UCC alumni talked about why this vigil was so important.
We have family and that lives in Roseburg, and I used to go to school there in 2002, and it was a quiet community, and everybody was friendly, and just can't imagine something like that would happen.
Really struck home, you know, the tragedy, how it affected, you know, people that we know, like my girlfriend, her mom, and, you know, something really needs to be done about these shootings.
A rabbi and pastors also spoke tonight, one saying today is a sad day. We are lighting our candles to bring light to a very dark situation. There was also a call from religious leaders for real change. They say when it comes to gun violence, enough is enough. Back to you.
Okay, Jennifer Dowling outside City Hall, and folks coming together here in Portland in remembrance of those students and staff killed in Roseburg today.
It's really important to do that as we move forward. And you know, often during these shootings, we're getting these live, minute by minute, sometimes seconds by second accounts from people who were there themselves.
And our Eileen Park has been tracking social media. She's in the newsroom now with the latest. Eileen?
Jeff and Jennifer, we've been following Twitter especially, and here are a few tweets that really stood out from accounts we believe are UCC student accounts. Now, this account from Tia says, "I can't stop shaking." Here's another one. Whitley says, "Just wanted to let everyone know I am safe. Keep UCC in your prayers, as well as the law enforcement that responded." Laura posted, "It's so much different when you're actually there and experience it than when you just hear about it on the news. I never thought it had happened." She also wrote that, "I keep hearing the gunshots in my head and that it makes me want to vomit." Now, as you know, social media often a critical platform that plays out these situations live, showing how terrifying and real these shootings are. I will, of course, continue to track reaction from students and from people all over the country and world and bring you the very latest. Back to you.
Eileen Park, live in our newsroom tonight. Thank you.
Oh, Governor Kate Brown is in Roseburg tonight.
Earlier in the day, though, after the governor was informed about this shooting, she issued a statement.
"I know I am joined by my fellow Oregonians and Americans in profound dismay and heartbreak at this tragedy at Umpqua Community College. Our thoughts and prayers are with the victims and their families. We are holding the community of Douglas County in our hearts today."
She also went on and hailed the efforts of the first responders for their quick response and their actions today.
Imagine if you were a parent and your child went to that community college. Very scary. The school says nearly 3,000 students were on campus during the shooting, and it took some time for families to get together with their students. Everyone at the school was held inside until police checked the campus and checked everyone out, even patting people down as they exited the campus. It's a tense time for families.
I don't know where she's at. They're telling me I need to stay in this building, and I'm not staying in that building. I want to see my daughter walk by if she's on one of these buses.
If she can see this, what would you want to tell her?
I would tell her that I love her and I want her in my arms.
And that just breaks your heart. Finally, police bust everyone over to the Douglas County Fairgrounds, where they were reunited and picked up by friends and family.
Such a tough day for so many people. Our coverage continues, but we want to take a break now and check in with our chief meteorologist, Kristen Van Dyke.
Well, we have some changes moving in tomorrow. Remember how it was kind of chilly this morning and then the sunshine came out and warmed things up? Well, tomorrow we're not going to get that. So we'll have a little sunshine, but it's going to be a little tougher to come by. And so temperatures are going to stay cooler longer. And as you head out the door tomorrow morning, you want to hang on to those jackets a little longer. Right now, 62 degrees. Our high today, though, above average. Normal high for the first day of October, right around 70. And we went all the way up into the mid-70s, topping out at 76 degrees, starting off at 50 degrees this morning, and that's where we're going to be starting off again tomorrow morning. So temperatures tonight dipping down into the upper 40s and low 50s, mid-40s down towards Eugene, and then 40s as you head east of the Cascades. Going into the day, this is the breakdown for you for Portland. Mostly cloudy, low 50s. By 10 o'clock, we're still in the low 50s. By lunchtime, temperatures trying to creep into the 60s, and that's all we're going to be able to manage tomorrow. Highs in the mid to upper 60s with mainly cloudy skies. Take a look at what's happening. A few showers in eastern Oregon pulling away. A weak disturbance dropping south. That's going to bring us a cloud cover tomorrow, maybe even a few sprinkles here and there, and then it's done. In fact, it's moving out so quickly that I think even Saturday is going to be looking pretty decent by the time we get into the afternoon. Your forecast for tomorrow, though, fog and cloud cover. A few showers for the coast, highs in the 60s. I-5 mid to upper 60s, some 70s with mostly cloudy skies and a much cooler day. Central and east, we'll be looking at mostly sunny skies, breezier conditions. winds. Clouds rolling in tomorrow night there. Cascades, highs in the 60s for Government Camp and Hood River. Those winds picking up through the gorge. 15 to 20 mile-an-hour winds with highs in the 60s there. Here's your 7-day forecast. So mostly cloudy tomorrow, upper 60s. We're back to the low 70s Saturday. In between Friday and Saturday, slight chance we may see a light shower. That's going to be the extent of it. But I think we'll see sunshine by Saturday afternoon. And then by Sunday, look at that beautiful day. It's going to be nice and warm. Upper 70s again Monday. Going into the middle part of the next week just looks fantastic. Nice, dry, and plenty of warm weather ahead too.
Okay, all in all, not too bad.
Yeah, not at all.
All right, Kristen, thank you. Our coverage of the deadly shooting on the Umpqua Community College campus in Roseburg continues. We'll be right back. Why does something like this happen? We talked to a longtime criminologist who studies mass shootings.
And he says they're almost always done by young men who are maybe struggling with their place in the world while keeping their emotions bottled up.
When they experience kind of a roadblock, and this could be a loss of a job or failing a class or a girlfriend dumping them, or something even more severe than that, like a psychotic breakdown, that they use violence as a way to express themselves. They're almost always suicidal individuals, that they plan on dying, but they want to die in a hail of bullets. They want to die going out on their feet instead of living on their knees, and they're willing to take as many people along with them to share their pain as they are. So it's a suicidal act, but it's a suicidal act that usually has many, many victims associated with it.
And Blazak went on to say that these mass shooters often have a history of also hurting animals and even starting fires. And you can imagine that a lot of people have been reaching out to Oregon and the people affected by the shooting, including a Kansas City Royals pitcher named Jeremy Guthrie.
Yeah, Jeremy grew up in Roseburg.
Just that we're thinking of them, prayerful of them, and especially those who were directly impacted. Those families are going through an unimaginable loss today. Maybe some don't even know exactly what has happened still, so you keep them in your prayers. All of us go through struggles. All of us have our challenges, and maybe we can show a little more love and compassion to those who are going through those things, and hopefully the end result is that we can stop having to witness these types of tragedies.
Jeremy also tweeted out this message: another tragic shooting. Spent a lot of time on the UCC campus as a kid. Now, his immediate family has been out of Roseburg for about 20 years, but Jeremy says he has several aunts, uncles, and cousins still living in the area. We'll be right back.
It's 11:30 now, and we want to bring you up to speed. We want to recap today's breaking news event. 9 people are dead and 7 more are hurt after a gunman opens fire at Umpqua Community College in Roseburg, which is about 200 miles south of Portland. The gunman, 26-year-old Chris Harper Mercer, was killed in a shootout with police. Officers responded to a shooting call around 10:30 this morning.
They confronted the shooter, exchanged gunfire. We know survivors are at 2 different hospitals tonight, 2 in critical condition right now. 7 injured overall. So we're continuing to follow this story both on air and always online at KOIN.com. And we leave you tonight with images of this day that will forever be etched in all of our minds. Good night, everyone.